and welcome to Friday on GTV Breakfast. It's good to have you join us. It's been a long week for some and a very short one for others, but no matter what you think, TGIF, thank God it's Friday.
Indeed, and F is for Friday, F is for fun, F is for fasting. I'm thinking of like a weekly fast.
No, don't fast on Friday.
No.
Unless you're born on Friday.
I'm born on Friday.
So.
And I'm thinking of a weekly fast.
For a whole week?
No, that's like every Friday I should just not eat.
Yeah, but that's what you should do.
Have you done it before?
Yeah, many years.
Okay, but now?
Now because of this morning.
You cannot fast?
Not on Fridays.
Okay, but it involves water. I can drink water, right?
It depends on what kind of fast you
No, I want to drink water and not eat food.
Yeah, you could.
Talking of food, though, so 2 days ago, my son, he's going to be 12 pretty soon. He comes up to me and says, his teacher says, as a young man growing up, you should eat sufficient protein.
Oh,
and
okay.
that involves 5 pieces of chicken every day.
Mommy will not like this.
And I looked at him and said, what do you think about this proposal? I mean, 5 pieces of chicken every day.
Okay, what's the size of the piece of chicken is what I would ask, because my mom would find a way to give you 5 pieces of chicken, but it's the same piece she would give you on a regular
Then I asked him, how many pieces of chicken do your friends get every day? He said, well, most of them 2, some 1. So 5 pieces of chicken.
How many pieces does he get now?
I think he gets 1 or 2. Yes.
We just add 1 more.
But they say, guys, they say 5.
It's like a fair balance. 3 is not bad.
Listen, I'll start my fasting experiences and I'll let you know how it goes. But hey, good morning, welcome. Don't break your fast. Keep watching the GTV Breakfast. We are live everywhere on social media, on YouTube, on Twitter, on Instagram. If you want to send us a WhatsApp to tell us about your food experiences, 055-556-1034. What do we have on the breakfast table today?
We will start off with our regular wisdom nugget, and Dr. Kofi Osei was on the show yesterday. Some of you may have caught him. If you missed any part of the show or anything we've done on this platform, go to our social media handles. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, and we're also on YouTube, and the handles are on your screens right now. Dr. Kofi Osei will set us off with his motivational message, and today we're talking about the right priorities of life. And later on, we'll be talking about protecting children whilst they are online. There's a law, you know, that at a certain age, those children should not even be on social media at all. But these days, what do we see?
Yeah, COVID,
we don't see that.
COVID, they are semeba.
COVID, they are semaba.
Okay,
they are berry.
Okay.
So whilst they are there, how do we keep them safe? How do we make sure that they are not going to the site where they may be in danger of, you know, there are all kinds of people hiding behind keyboards, doing horrible things and targeting children in particular. So if you have kids, that's a discussion you do not want to miss. And of course, we'll sit down with our female panel to analyze the stories in the headlines. ECOWAS says Guinea has 6 months to return to constitutional rule. They are telling Mali they will not extend the February 2022 deadline for them to also get on the democracy train. And so what will all that mean? Are they in the papers at all? We'll have all those discussions. And then, of course, Rocky Dawuni will be in the house. Grammy nominated. Look, Ghana to the world.
One time, international. Yes, indeed.
I'm excited, and I hope you are too. So much to look forward to this morning.
Indeed. I'm just thinking about the Guinea-Mali matters, and I'm wondering what Nkrumah and Secretary and Modibo Keita would have made of all this, you know, because there was supposed to be a Ghana-Guinea-Mali union, and these are the first leaders of those countries.
We'll think about that on Tuesday, won't we, when we enjoy you enjoy the holiday. I would still be here working. So, but Tuesday is a holiday, we're excited.
Yeah, counting down to it.
Yep.
A show brought to you as usual by Awake Purified Drinking Water, Shield Acrylic Paint, Adonko Next Level Energy Drink, and Broven GH, makers of fantastic kaftans, like what you're seeing right now.
Biggest stitches located at the Divine Healers Church at Koligono. Koligono to the world, kg.
Kg, eh? I thought it was kilogram. Anyway, so talking about priorities, here comes our priority right now. It's the Wisdom Nugget by
Dr.
Kofi
Osei.
Kusi.
It's a good morning to you. It's very exciting and very humbling for me to come your way to serve you with a wisdom nugget for your day, so that your life can be spiced up so beautifully, so that you can keep many of the problems that confront you away. And today we want to talk about living life with the right priorities, having the right priorities of life. I'm not very old, but I'm quite observant. And the truth is that many people live life without the right sense of priorities. Many people put the cart before the horse, unfortunately. It's like drinking the soup before you eat the fufu. Can you imagine? Or counting from 4 before you get to 1. You know that ideally you need to set the right priorities and move from step 1 to step 2 to step 3 and to step 4. That you have the right sense of focus in life. Don't you meet people who seems to just juggle up all their priorities? You don't know what is really important to them, and you don't know what they should be pursuing first in their lives. It's so crucial that if we're going to be successful, if we're going to be happy, and if we're going to be influential, if we're going to make impact, and if we're going to live a purposeful life, that we have the right sense of priorities. So crucial. And what are some of the things that should be a priority for you and I? I believe that the first thing that should be so crucial for you every single day is to think about what is your purpose in life. The first priority of your life, when you wake up every single morning, the first thing may not be, to really go and chase after money, or the first thing may not be to go and do all sort of things, entertainment and all of that. They're all good things, but what should be the core or the number one thing that you should focus on every single day? I believe the first thing really should be, what is my purpose in life? The first question, every single thing that you do, every single thing that you spend your time on, you should ask yourself, how is this thing contributing to my purpose in life? Because at the end of the day, your whole life is going to be measured by your ability to have fulfilled your purpose in life. Do you know your purpose in life? And how important is it to you? Is that the number one thing you think about when you make decisions? Is that the number one thing you think about when you spend your time? I think the second thing that should be a priority for everyone is having a sense of service. It's so important that we live our lives, again, not just for the cash. It's so important. We need cash. But it's crucial beyond the cash that we live our lives seeking to serve and add value to other people. I try to spend a bit of my time thinking about how can I add value to the lives of leaders? How can I add value to the youth? How can I add value to society? I think every one of us, when we wake up, we should try and look at other people. We should try and look at society. We should try and look at our environment and see, what can I do more to improve the lot of others? I think that probably is one of the crucial ways to live a life with the right sort of priorities. The priority really is not to put ourselves first, if you ask me. I know a lot of people quote to the fact that when you board an aircraft, they say that, fasten your seatbelt if there is an emergency before you do that of your child. That is just for the aircraft. But in real life, I think you want to think about, what can I do for other people first before what I can do for myself? When you live like that, you become extraordinary and you become incredibly successful. The third and final thing I want us to think about as we seek to have the right priorities of life is to focus on people, to focus on the well-being of other people. It's so crucial in our lives that we live every single day seeking to add value to other people. I like what they say in South Africa, Ubuntu. Ubuntu means that I am because we are. And it's an important way to help you think about the priorities of life, that you always think about how your life contributes to the well-being of other people's lives. I believe this nugget has inspired you, and hopefully it's going to help you to set the right priorities of life. Enjoy your life and enjoy your day as you go through having the right priorities.
Take a look at what we should expect in terms of weather, and we'll be back to do social media trends. You don't want to miss it. We'll be back. Yes, so that's your weather, and it's Friday on GTV Breakfast. Remember to follow our social media handles. We're on Facebook, we are on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. Follow our pages, like our content, also share and invite others to like as well. And we will continue serving you breakfast a la carte, sizzling helpings of a mix of things that you would enjoy. News, entertainment, for your enjoyment, for your education as well. We're looking at what's trending, and Accra Hearts of Oak have unveiled a new kit and also a logo. And so we'll be seeing them very shortly on your screens, and this is what it looks like. So the Phobia boys, we are used to seeing them in their traditional rainbow colors, and this is what they have unveiled for us this season. Kaf, what do you think?
It's beautiful. I like it.
I like it.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Really nice. Very trendy.
I like the fact that there's always a dominant color, and then the others just try to play.
Yeah, it's a rainbow nation, rainbow team. So yeah, Phobia.
This is what they've left the fabulous people in the wind.
You know, I like the jersey. The jerseys don't play football. You can play naked and still win.
Don't play naked. Definitely don't play naked. Definitely do not play
naked football.
No.
No.
You have the wildest thoughts. I mean, look at that. Look at that. It's a beautiful jersey.
Are people complaining about the jerseys?
No, I don't. Not that I've come across.
Okay, all right.
I think that almost all the comments that I have seen
are good jerseys.
Are good saying, oh, they are very colorful.
Yeah.
And they are looking forward to seeing the boys wearing them, obviously. And so let's see if it will bring them for a team that has won a double treble this season, and they're still looking forward to winning more. Let's see what the new jersey, the new set of jerseys will do for Hearts of Oak, and so they are pretty excited. But whilst all that is happening on the Hearts of Oak side and on the sports side of town, we got news sometime yesterday, I believe, that one of Ghana's veteran actors, who goes by the name of Koshe, has passed on, and we understand that he passed away after suffering a stroke. And I'm quite saddened. Kaf, you remember him, don't you?
Yeah, vaguely, but I know that he was a big star back in the 80s, 70s, 80s.
Kofi Lane, and he was big on GBC as well. So Akan drama and that era of time, he was really, really big. And
who were his contemporaries, like Wache and things?
I think he was
older than Wache.
Older than Wache, probably. But
maybe also those guys.
Yes,
that
maybe,
generation.
But I think he may have been just a step behind us, but he's still in that same clique. So probably Amankwampofo.
Okay.
That
generation.
Okay. So Kofi Lane passing away. His daughter confirmed the news to the media that he passed away. He's believed to be somewhere around in his mid-70s. We heard stories that he had suffered a stroke some weeks back, and unfortunately
couldn't make it.
He didn't survive.
Yeah,
so
our deepest condolences to the family.
Indeed. And I mean, guys, let's celebrate the people who brought laughter and joy to our lives. I remember the Osofodazi days. Those were the days. I mean, I love Talking Point now because I appreciate the issues that they discuss. But back when I was growing up, it was pure torture to just sit through an hour of people talking about matters that did not mean anything to me.
Yeah,
now I do.
Yes.
But we endured that just to watch some of these people bring, that Sunday evening relaxation, family time to people. And it just serves as a reminder to us that these are human beings as well. We might see them as entertainers, but these are family makers, these are breadwinners, these are people's fathers, people's mothers. And as we enjoy them, let's also appreciate the fact that they are human just like us, and they go through difficulties in the same way in which we regular people who watch them also do. So, like you said, Kaf, sincere condolences to his family, and I'm sure that the Actors Guild or some of his colleagues may start organizing themselves to maybe, go pay tribute to that great actor.
And his group was a Dachi group, so that was the name of the company in which he performed. Yeah.
Okay, so Kofi Lane, rest in peace. Ghana was honored to have benefited from your talent, and thank you for blessing the country, all of us, with your talent. Condolences to the bereaved family. And as others mourn, others are getting ready to party, and Sarkodie is offering his fans a treat with his
what is
No Pressure album. So you know he's been touring, especially he went to Nigeria to build some publicity for his No Pressure album, and he's just announced to his fans that he will be bringing the party to TMA.
The Metropolitan Authority.
So I saw a tweet, and he said yes. Okay. So it's TM. So those of you, don't come at me and say please, it's not TM, it's TM. I know. So he tweeted that he was bringing the party to them. It will not be complete without them. So he invited everybody to the Green Lounge at Tema. And this is for the 2nd of October. So that's Sarkodie in the news. He's saying no pressure. I'll bring it home.
Yo, we are welcoming him home. Home is home. If you
I'm not quickly announce our WhatsApp lines once again is 05555 05555 Send your comments and questions to us about the show, about anything you will see on this platform this morning, and we will read them out loud and we'll ask your questions for you. Also follow our social media handles. We are grateful to Awake Mineral Water, Shield Acrylic Paint, and Adonko Next Level Energy Drink for bringing us this partnership, partnering with us to bring you the breakfast show. And thanks to Biggest Scissors at Coligono for my lovely outfit this morning. Good morning, Abigail. I'll put your details out there a bit later. So this has been social media trends. I was wondering if we should talk about Wendy Shay and the fact that she's released a new video and she's, dropping some shade, but I don't want to get involved in shading other people. But it's a beautiful song. Have you heard it, Kafui?
No. Can you sing it for me?
I can't, because it's a fairly new song. And they just, I think I just saw the video on YouTube 6 days ago.
Okay.
It's already like 1K plus comments already.
All right.
People say what you want about Wendy Shay and the fact that she catches a lot of heat.
Okay.
And her new video is called Heat as well.
So. Oh, it's called Heat. Okay.
So she catches a lot of heat from people, but she does manage to catch people's attention.
It's all part of the strategy.
Yeah, it is. And so controversies. I've seen a funny video of her trying to wash her face, and then people are laughing and say, "Hey, what kind of face?" Don't do that.
Heat.
Don't do that.
Heat.
Don't do.
How do you say heat again?
Dole.
Dole. Okay.
So yeah, that's it. So this has been social media trends. We'll have that sit down. Kaf, tell us about that.
Well, it's child online protection. How to protect your children from the clutches of these predators, people who are masquerading as children. And I read that you even have filters that can change people's voices. So it's a 46-year-old man and he's sounding like a 12-year-old or 13-year-old to lure people. And so how to just protect your children from the bad stuff that is online. There's good stuff online, but there's also bad stuff, and we need to protect our children from that. So yeah.
Indeed we do, and we'll have that conversation right after this break. You don't want to miss it. Stick and stay. It's hashtag GTV Breakfast.
Live from GBC Studio 1, this is the Breakfast Show. Live from GBC Studio 1, this is the Breakfast Show.
4. Now, because of the pandemic and the lockdown and children not going to school last year, you had a lot of them going online, and schools were creating email access for the children to get on school and do their online learning. How safe are children, even though they log on through school portals?
All right. So, you know, this internet facility that we use is like, I term it like a road. The road can lead you to your church, or it can lead you to your grave. And on the road, we have potholes. So in as much as we try to create that link through our school platforms, there might be some loopholes that IT admins, the family, the IT teachers should look up for. Now, if I'm setting a platform for my children or for the school, I have to look at some of filters to really filtrate the process of the child going to the internet. I don't really know the schools if they really consider those things, but we have to. That's why I'm saying that if we are creating email for flat things, we should really create Kids email through the Google Family app link. You can do that. You can create an email for your child. And when you create this email for your child, you can now monitor the activity of your child on the internet. At this time, my child is supposed to join an online class. Is he doing that, or he's on the social media? And when you're on the social media, you know, they do send some notification. It comes on in your email. So when you see that there's an email from social media or Facebook, something like that, you can, as a parent, you can really guide your child through that. Now, when we are trying to create such educative platform, I know they do consider a lot of things, but what sometimes we do feel is security. How safe is this platform? We only look for how we can protect the website as a whole by putting an XSL on it, that is a secure hypertext transfer protocol that can really protect it. But how are we protecting the device? So at that point, I think that it's a responsibility of the parent or the guardian to really look at that. So the device your child is using, how updated is the device? Where, if he's using a computer, where is the computer station? Can you really monitor what is going on? Because, you know, when it comes to this internet, it might interest you that the kids even know much better than the parents. So you have to really also try to get yourself involved and learn. Though we have the online platform for them to learn, but what are you doing as a parent, as a guardian, extra to protect your children? I know you do provide physical security for your children. That's why you send them to school yourself or by their driver. But when you're going on the internet, how do you protect them?
Those are good questions. Growing up, back then in the 80s, we were scared of bullies. Somebody like me, I used to have a very loud mouth, and then I would have somebody telling me, "I'll see you after school. You see you know." So then now you're waiting, try to avoid somebody beating you up. But now the bullying and the beating up has been transferred online.
Yeah.
How does that work, first of all, and how do you protect your children from being bullied online?
All right, thank you. So when you talk about cyberbullying, even adults, we do suffer from cyberbullying. So cyberbullying should be a very broad topic we should look at. And actors like Benishe has suffered from cyberbullying. And our children to do cyberbullying, cyber harassment, and other things. So what happened is sometimes the children will try to go and comment or put something, and you see someone just come and drop an harsh comment on the child, and you really distort, or really like the child becomes so confused, doesn't know what to do, you know, because this internet becomes a new environment for some of us. Yeah, so those are some of the things. And sometimes too, the child might be exposed to some things that the child will feel so like, mommy, what is this? You see, so those are some of the harassment that goes on the children. What we can do this morning is, take this from me, as a parent, as a guardian, you always have to be a friend of your child on the social media. Be a friend of your child on the social media. So know all the social media platform your child is on, and be his or her friend. This is why. Because at that time, when this morning maybe my child should post a picture, and someone should come in through a very maybe harsh comment on him or her, as a guardian or as a parent, I can quickly go and reply and say, no, you don't have to do that. Or I can really go and attack the person either through his or her DM or something. So I can monitor what is going on there. But if you are not the friends of our own kids or our own children on the social media, it becomes very hard for even us to know what they are doing, what they are posting. You know what? Sometimes this time around, some of the attacks that these hackers, fraudsters are doing is they do target the kids or the children. Why? Because they are vulnerable. If I, from where I sit, want to attack maybe you, I will try through your children. Why? Because they are vulnerable. And I know that at some point in time, your child may use your phone or your wife's phone. And that becomes a very creative or lucrative avenue for me to attack the family. So the children on the social media, when we are their friend, if sometimes they are even following some people, we can even tell them, no, go and block this person. Check these comments out. And that would help our children on the internet today.
So follow your children on Instagram,
all
Telegram,
the social media platform. And at some point, there are some social media platform you really have to prevent your child from joining such platforms.
Like?
Oh, well, I don't want to mention, but some of them has been those explicit
okay,
platform.
So the porn sites.
Yeah, yes, and also sometimes this Snapchat, you know, a lot of things go to, some new pictures, some explicit images might be trending on that side, and you really think that, no, when at that age, if my child is exposed to some things, like, you know, you don't know how you are really training. And also sometimes, not even on IG, on Facebook and other platforms. Telegram too. Okay. Telegram too. You see, so as a parent, and one of them is to also really monitor. So if you are the friend of your child on the social media, you can really check all those things. If you see that this site or even the kind of people my child is following, because if I don't follow you, I won't get some of your image. So if, like this morning, my child is following someone, I know that that person, quote unquote, really posts explicit images, I should tell my child to just unfollow the person.
Okay.
That would
so
help.
Vigilance and monitoring is the key.
Monitoring is the key.
Okay. And so when you find out that your child is being bullied online, what are your protections? What can you do? What are your steps?
Okay, so
beyond attacking the person, I don't suggest that you should attack the person back, but what do you do?
So the first thing is you block the person. You ask your child to block the person. You can report. They have reporting avenue for such on that platform, so you can report such incident. And also, you know, it again, you know, Ghana, the National Cybersecurity Act 2020, the 66 talks about how we can really protect our children on the internet. So we really have to be checking that. So we have rules governing us on the internet. It's not just like a free road like that. We have rules governing us. So we have to really also make the children understand that there are rules governing the internet that they find themselves on. So we can really report to the platform and also block. The first step is to block them, unfollow them if you are following them, and just report to the platform. And if it becomes very loud, you can go ahead to report.
How do pedophiles access children online, and how can parents protect them?
All right, so parents, we can only protect our children whilst we monitor them, and we also use those filter, how we can filter what they receive there. At some point in time, it becomes somehow difficult for parents to say who are not technological technocrats or who really are not really abreast with these new technological things. So it becomes a problem for them. So what we have to note this morning is that one of the first things that we can do is, with the devices that they are using, we have to make sure that we block some of the things that comes on their devices.
I understand that there are filters which can change a voice. So instead of you sounding like me, you sound like 16-year-old, 14.
Yeah.
There are filters that do
there
that.
are filters there. And
so you believe you are speaking to somebody who is your age, but it could be somebody older.
Somebody older. And even the people we are following, you know, sometimes, that's why I said these attack that are coming on us on the social media. I have so many persons on the internet. I'm here as DK Cyber, but I have a lot of persons on the internet. And who can tell? You can't. So this morning you might not know even the friend that you claim that he is my friend on the social media. You know, like I chanced on this situation whereby I went to the Volta region. I was coming by public transport, and the lady had really followed up a friend that she just met on the Facebook to Volta. And she went there for almost 3 days. And when she went there, they took her money, and after doing whatever they can do to her, they just came to drop her at the station. And when she was coming, she cried in the car before we get to Accra. And like I asked her, like, why? He said, oh, I follow my friends, because they were like girls. she knows them that are girls, and they were really talking about school and those things. So when she came there, there are different people, grown-up men, and you could imagine what they would do to this lady, small girl. And the problem is, she was so fortunate that they didn't do anything to her, and they brought her back to the station. You see, so these are some of the things that we have, the friends that we are following. It's hard for us to tell who they are.
Because a picture could
be...
You
see, so what we have to do, so that's what I'm saying, that as a guardian or as a parent, if you go through the friends that your child is following on the social media, if you have time, go to one by one, go to their profile. How many times have they posted? When, you know, normally those accounts are new. The people who really do that, they are new accounts. So go and check them. How many pictures do they post? What are they doing? You know, sometimes this account is like 2 months old, 1 month old, and you can really track what they do on the internet. So track them and see what they do and who they are before you really advise your child to follow them, because it might seem like a kid or a child or someone at your age, but it might not be. It might be an old person who is just trying to really get something from you on the internet or really come and affect the family or harm you.
Bottom line, these are fraudsters using fake identities, trying to access children. Some of them could be sexual predators, and the watchword is vigilance. If you could give a couple of tips to parents and then to children and teachers as well, what would those tips be as far as child online protection is concerned?
All right, so thank you. So one of the things that we have to look out for is that, one, we have to be our child, our children, their friends on the social media. One, we have to really set up some of the, we have to update their devices that they are using, update it, and set their, if they are using computers, set it at where you yourself can monitor what is happening. When you've gone to bed, use some of the filters to really filtrate what they are doing so that it can give them a security that maybe after 6, they wouldn't go on the social media again. And also the key word here is really monitor them. Notice that now we have offline parenting and online parenting. You might be doing very well at the offline parenting, but the online parenting to play a very massive role in grooming the children. So we have to really check out for that. And we have to also sometimes follow, as we do give tips, periodic tips, and really show some of these ways that they fraudsters, because every time and the ways that they really do to attack this our case. So we really post updated tips on that. So we really have to be checking out for that. And we sometimes the whole week, 24 hours, 24/7, you have to just give maybe yourself 30 minutes to read about such security things, how you yourself can protect your children on the internet. I think it might go a long way to help and secure your children as they live safely and enjoy this technological advancement that we have today.
And how do people get more information? How do they find Cyber Zone GH?
Okay, so the Cyber Zone GH is on all social media platforms. The Cyber Zone GH, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. And also, if you have any other things that you want to let me know or you want me to help you, my number is 0552 373603. Feel free to tell me. And one of the things that I have to also say is just create that good atmospherical environment for your child to be able to really communicate whatever goes on in the social media to you. Some of our parents are so, they stress their children in a way that they don't have that good environment to speak to their children. So if something like that is happening to the kids, they cannot really share with you. So really make sure that you and your child, you are like the friend of your child, and make sure that you really know whatever your child is doing on the social media, on the internet, so that you might know what you can do this morning to secure and help them on the social media and the internet at large.
The CEO of Cyber Zone GH, his name is David Jedu, and we talk about protection on various platforms. Today it was on child online protection. David, I wish you a good weekend.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you too.
As always, very, very informative, very educative.
Sure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're watching GTV Breakfast. Lots of conversations coming up. So there's a chat with Grammy-nominated Ghanaian musician Rocky Dawuni. We're celebrating another great Ghanaian who is a philanthropist. And of course, today is Software Freedom Day. So it was quite an interesting conversation that tied in with that today. And we'll be keeping an eye at Vodafone in the Circle area, as well as Mataheko Zongo Junction traffic lights. And our rush hour is coming from Accra Newtown and Awushi intersection. If you have anything you want us to keep an eye on, send us a video or some pictures, or just let us know what it is, and we will come. We are getting results with Keep an Eye, and I shall be allowing our man on the ground to break the news to you himself. So 055-556-1034, that is the number to get through to us if you have anything to share with us by way of issues you want solved. Let's go to the ground right now and speak with Alan. Where are you, Mr. Darrell Alan Tego?
Yes, sir.
Are they here? Good
Hello.
morning. Good morning.
Good morning and welcome to Awoshi intersection. This is the main intersection that connects or links the pedestrians or commuters coming in from Malam McCarthy Hill, filing towards Circle or up towards the La Paz area. Westwards is traffic coming in from Pokwasi, connecting from Accra towards the eastern region and Kumasi, or coming in from that direction towards Accra, heading out to the business district. And then we have the southwards, which comes in from Malam McCarthy Hill, and possibly also coming in from Kaswa and its environs. We go eastwards and we're going towards Odoko, and then we head out westwards, or northwards, sorry, and we're going towards La Paz. Now let's look at the situation on the ground as traffic is. When we look at traffic coming in or going out towards the west, this would then take you from Awoshi all the way to Pokwasi, Anya, Ablekuma, Olebu, Mahia, Amamole. These are environs, or these neighborhoods or communities would pick their traffic flow from this major intersection and head inward or outwards. From where I am standing, traffic, as you can see, is green, and so they're filing out smoothly. But it tails back about 100 meters from where we're standing. It goes all the way to the traffic lights from this intersection. When we pan round and we're taking traffic coming in from McCarthy Hill, Malam, possibly Kaswa, and also some areas around Asuman, what we have is a traffic at a standstill. This is mainly because the traffic lights out here are functional, and you have two gentle police officers also doing a yeoman's job, to be honest with you. They're ensuring that no commuter gets more than they should get as far as the benefit of traffic is. They stay in and they're called out if they have to. Now we move over towards traffic going towards Odoko from this main intersection. What we have is those coming out from McCarthy Hill and Malam using the slip road out from the intersection towards Odoko, and because of the narrowness of the road or the narrow nature of the road from that end, you have traffic slowing down as it enters into Odoko. But this provides a vital traffic escape for those going on the N1 into La Paz or Kwashima. Those going through Odoko from here will have the benefit of using the Odoko official town road, connecting through Dakuman, and then they will come up around Hong Kong, join the La Paz file, and that's it. Within 20 minutes, they should be out and clear, rather than staying on the N1 towards Kwashiman, possibly Hong Kong and La Paz. This would normally hold you because there are two different sets of traffic lights on that stretch of road, and so that will hold you. Again, if you look at where we are currently, we're now looking at traffic coming in from La Paz, Kwashiman, and its environs. And because it's a red signal, they're all standing or staying put to where they are. I'm sure shortly the police officer will wave them on. Pedestrians along this stretch uses the same traffic intersection with commuters, and police are doing a good job ensuring pedestrians will cross very safely. Someone has asked why there's no pedestrian cross or footbridge for pedestrians on this side of the road, just so that the hassle between commuters and pedestrians will be well taken care of. Well, the question is asked, and the jury is out as to whether it will be safe or okay to put one out here. This has been the situation with traffic on the main Awoshi intersection, and this is rush hour. Back to you in the studio, Kafui.
Alan is my guy. I mean, he described the policemen as two gentle policemen taking care of traffic. But the names of areas in Ghana, Matahiko, I'll see it somewhere. Brahabebomi, come and beat me. And then we have Hong Kong. I mean, you have Hong Kong in Ghana, Hong Kong from Asia. You have La Paz, Bolivia. I love this country, man. I love this country. Yes, apparently GFA enjoys Milo. Not for breakfast, but for football. Because we hear that Milovan Rajevac, former Serbian tactician and trainer, is to be named Black Stars coach today. The 72 hours are up. So we should be getting an announcement today. So I asked, what's your view? Charlie, you guys are not happy with this Milo thing if it's confirmed, though. Did he resign? Was he sacked when he was given the job some years back? Can he speak English now? It's another comment. Because it's get one coach and then have an interpreter attached. So he's coming with his interpreter. And by the way, his interpreter is giving us clues because he changed his profile picture on one of his social media handles to include a picture of him and his son is wearing a Black Stars jersey, number 10. So we're getting signals. All right. Kojo says, we like Claude Leroy. Sir, Leroy is expensive. Milo would cost us about some $45,000. Can you pay more? Aflao Lukaku. Look at another name. Aflao Lukaku. Where's on? He says, bad choice. Papa Junior says, I just gave my jersey out. I'm no longer supporting the Black Stars. Louis Chebafo, can he speak English now? You guys. Hey, apart from Ghana, where else has he done well? Please, we don't want an arcade coach in our country again. Well, this is the man who was famed for the one-goal project. So you score one goal and then you're cool, 3 points. You score one goal, one goal. It's economy of resources, not too many, just one. Like that, we are going. Your comments are coming. I want to know if Milo is our coach. What do you think? 055-556-1034. Headlines coming up. But before that, let's go to Jay. Jay is on the ground, and Jay is reaching us from Newtown. Jay, good morning once again.
Okay, good morning again. Welcome, everyone. It is another edition of Russia on hashtag GTV Breakfast. And I'd like to welcome you all once again. So it's another edition of Rush Hour, and this morning I'm at an intersection known as Newtown Kotobabi Junction. Behind me are those who are coming from Kotobabi Night Market down, and from that side you can get to Alajo and Caprice. And I like to say Caprice because most Ghanaians like to say Caprice, but the real pronunciation is Caprice. And then to my right are those going towards the Circle, Malata and Nima. And then right in front of me are those heading towards the pig farm area, heading towards 37 as well. So this morning, the scene you're witnessing is that of a cool Friday morning. Everybody is going smoothly and steadily. There isn't that much of traffic, even though there are a lot of vehicular movements around the area, but it's quite smooth sailing for everybody using this side of the road. I chanced upon a lady called Auntie Grace. She's one of the Zoom Lion workers who works along the area. She was just sweeping around. She told me for those who are staying at Kotobabi down night markets and all that, they haven't had water for a few days. So if the authorities who are in charge can help them with water supply, that will aid their situation. So please come to their aid. And I also happen to talk to Mauli, a taxi driver who plies this route, and he says transport fares keep increasing. So if government can help them and stabilize the price of fuel and all that, that will help their business as well. So at the moment, in terms of rush hour, isn't at a peak rush hour period. So for now, those in this area are fine. And you can tell the Okada riders as well, they're also standing by waiting for passengers. And you can tell there are commercial vehicles also at the bus stop waiting to board, waiting to pick up passengers and head towards either circle. And beyond circle, they can even get to Accra from there. So if you're a resident here or you're watching us on Facebook or wherever and you want to use the side this morning, you don't need to use any alternate routes. Your way here is fine. Whether you're coming from Pig Farm, Alajo and whatnot, you want to use this side, you are fine. There's no traffic on this side. It will be smooth sailing for you. So this has been a Rush Hour report from the Newtown Kotobabi Junction. Back to you in the studios.
Thank you very much, Jay from Newtown. But Jay, listen, if you stop a taxi and tell the person you are going to Caprice, they'll say, huh? Huh? Who's it then? Caprice? We know it's Caprice, but Caprice. is what you know. It's so be careful on that. But thank you for telling us what it's supposed to be. We'll be celebrating a great Ghanaian philanthropist, and I'll be sitting down with Rocky Dawuni as he launches his new video for his new song, Wara, exploring or rediscovering his high life roots. Something to look forward to on today's show. And just a reminder that My Bet Africa are giving you 100% money back. It's guaranteed, even if you lose your first bet. So that's something you want to think about. If you are interested in virtual soccer, My Bet League, spins to win, drops and win. These are some of the exciting things that you can get on My Bet Africa, the home of betting, the truly Ghanaian home of betting. So check it out right now. And remember the bonus code for a bonus to play more games is GTV on My Bet Africa. A couple more messages on possible Milo coaching our team. So Albert says, it's sad news for Ghana. What is this? Primo says he should speak English himself. We can't bear another cost because, of course, he doesn't speak much English, and he always comes attached with an interpreter. We don't care anymore. Everything is messed up in this country. Please, let's have some hope. Everything's not messed up. This show is not messed up. GTV Breakfast is great. And coming up is Thelma, who's going to sit down with her female cast, all female cast, to discuss the news headlines. This morning, WhatsApp number is 055-556-1034. Show brought to you by Adonko Next Level Energy Drink, Awake Purified Drinking Water, Shield Acrylic Paint, and Robin Fashion, great kaftans. See you in a bit. Don't go away.
Live from GBC Studio 1, this is the Breakfast Show. Live from GBC Studio 1, this is the Breakfast Show. one. This is the Breakfast Show.
It's the headlines on GTV Breakfast, and the quote from Dr. Kwame Nkrumah setting the pace. We face neither east nor west, we face forward. I mean, where else would we rather face? Certainly keep going forward. Do not, just keep going forward. Focus on the goal. And this morning, of course, as we do every Friday, we are sitting down with a strong team of women. And on my immediate left, we have Hajia Hamdatu Ibrahima, former acting chairperson of the CPP. Hajia, welcome.
Thank you, Tama.
It's your first time on the table.
Yes, this year, yes.
Yes, we're happy to have you. And next to her, Ellen Amadeko, member NPP National Communication Team. Ellen, once again, welcome.
Hello.
Now you are part of the team.
Yes. Good morning. I've always been part. So.
Yes. Yeah, you are almost always here with us these days. We are looking at some of the issues that the papers captured, and in another week or any other time, this may be foreign news, but because of that summit, the ECOWAS summit that Accra hosted or is hosting, we are right in the middle of issues concerning Guinea, and the Daily Graphic leading the charge from my pile of papers this morning with a story that says protect democratic values, President urges ECOWAS leaders, and the Ghanaian Times also highlights the same issue at the extraordinary summit in Accra, restore democracy in 6 months, or ECOWAS leaders order Guinea coup makers. And so the African leaders, at least those in the ECOWAS sub-region, have been talking about happenings in Guinea at that extraordinary summit happening in Accra now. And they've given the junta a 6 months ultimatum, saying that, you know what, you took over the reins of power in Guinea September 5. We are expecting that within 6 months. In 6 months, the country should be back to democratic rule, hand the power back to civilians and let them be in charge. Your initial impressions, I'll start with you since you're the first time at the table for now.
Yes. Thank you very much, Aman.
Yes.
Good morning to you, and then good morning to our cherished viewers out there. Helen.
Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's been a while.
Yes.
You started very well by your intro. We neither look left or right, we look forward.
Dr. Kwame.
Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. It was a very wonderful quote.
You are happy.
And coming from the CPP, I'm very much, should I say, Helen, don't Google, because at least when I came to GTV, I can see that we are really looking forward. by your setup and everything. In fact, I have to really congratulate the GTV. It's the station of the nation. I think you should be the lead so that others will follow. And I think you've taken the lead because everywhere on the social media you are trending.
And you're a pankasa.
Yeah, you're a pankasa. So, ECOWAS, Telma, you see, I have an issue with ECOWAS and for that matter EU, even including the UN. They will sit and then wait for things to go out of hands before they will start giving or issuing threats and directives. It seems we are deviating from the core mandate of ECOWAS. We're not talking about trade amongst ourselves. We're not talking about eco, or is it eco? The currency that we are going to use so many years. We only hear about ECOWAS meeting when there are some skirmishes in one of the sister countries. I think ECOWAS should be proactive and then be able to tell their fellow presidents or heads of state in their face. As my lead organizer granted an interview yesterday, he emphasized on that, and that is a fact. You come for the ECOWAS meetings. Alpha Conde has been coming to ECOWAS meetings. Fo Inyadama has been coming for ECOWAS meetings. And then I think it is about time we tell them nobody should tamper with the constitution of their party, of their country when it's getting to election for them to be retained. So when we do that, we put some kind of fear in them. So maybe if there's some troubles in their country, ECOWAS will not be there for them. But then we'll wait. And then I learned he changed the constitution even before the current chairman of ECOWAS was appointed. But okay, what about the previous chair and for the matter, the membership of ECOWAS? Whether we're chairing or we're not chairing, but we're part of the ECOWAS nations. What did we do to people who have been doing that? We have such happenings in the sub-region. Look at what happened in Burkina Faso, and then what's this? Blaise Compaoré had to be chased out. Do we wait until trouble starts before we start issuing threats? And then I'm happy with the outcome of the meeting because they've given them some deadlines. They've given them what to do. And then I listened to the foreign minister 3 days ago that they've met the military junta leadership. They were, I think, cooperative. They listened to them and they explained to them why that happened. They met the outside president too. That's Alpha Conde, who is about 82 years. You see, 82, maybe about 80, and your the constitution should be there. People who were born maybe 20 years ago don't know anybody apart from one person. People will be tired. So I think African leaders, it is a warning to people who might think that we'll do this and get away with it. Now, Niger and Mali are not there because of the military intervention in those countries. What are the ambassadors doing in our countries? What are they doing in our country? You see, if you're going to hit hard. Don't be lenient with the people.
But there's
because
also
we don't need
line between you know, encouraging people to comply to laws and then ensuring that they maintain their sovereignty as individual nations.
I know, Tama, but we sign on to protocols and conventions. You can't operate in isolation. You understand? But I think we have to move a step further. That's what I'm saying. Then we don't even need the ambassadors in the country. You understand my point? Because it is becoming of some African leaders or African countries that, oh, it is our country, we have our sovereignty. Well, we respect your sovereignty, but respect the protocols and conventions too you have also signed on to.
Right. Let me bring Ellen into this conversation. Does the fact that an ultimatum has been provided make things any better for people in Guinea and also in Mali? Because let's not forget, the leaders have agreed that they are not shifting the goalposts for the February handover for Mali, and they've given Guinea 6 months to get this done.
Good morning to you, and good morning to our viewers. Before I answer, let me take the opportunity and wish my Ebusia Penny a happy birthday. He's 74. He was 74 yesterday. So, in fact, he asked me to mention his full name. Abusia Penny Emmanuel Kwabna Otin Abuaje. He was the Deputy Secretary of GFA. He was the Ashanti Gold Operations Manager, and he was also the Achimota Golf Club General Manager when he was in active service. He's the Abusia Penny of the Enu Asaman Kesi royal family. Nana Afishiapa.
Now that you've done that, it's out of the way. You can
now,
go to Guinea and Mali.
Let's talk about Guinea and Mali. I'll start off by, first of all, I'm going to bash Alpha Conde and people like him. At 83.
Oh, you're saying
83. 83. You change the constitution and you add an extra 5 years to your term. So 83 plus 5.
88.
Why? Why?
Because laws don't take retrospect.
No, I'm not. The fact that he could even think about it, you've already had 2 terms.
Shows that he's a smart guy.
He's known. You were in opposition in Guinea for a very long while, and you are known as being on the case of the former president for also attempting to change the constitution. So he couldn't change it. You come into power, and then you decide to change at 83. So as much as we blame the coup makers, and we are not happy with what they've done, we cannot in any way agree with what he also did.
Not at all.
I mean, it's disgraceful. It just kills the spirit of young people on the continent at 83. Why? After moving from there, then we come to the coup makers too. In fact, I am not a fan of the coup makers because it is the same people who were benefiting when Alpha Conde was in power are the people who did the coup. This young man who has staged this coup, was he not handpicked by Alpha Conde? Was he not trained in France? Mr. Conde brought him to come and suppress the citizens, and he has turned around to suppress himself. But that doesn't make him a savior.
Not at all.
In fact, I feel sorry for the people of Guinea because they've gone back by 20 years. This gentleman, I do not see him in any way, and the people around him being able to govern.
But they never said they wanted to govern indefinitely.
It is obvious. I'm yet to see any coup maker anywhere. Well, let's take our African continent, who will hand over power willingly and graciously. They have to be forced because power is sweet.
Ping pong.
So when you get involved, you'll be accusing somebody, and then you get the opportunity, whether by coup or by elections,
by hook or
and then you realize that getting up is difficult. If it was easy, our former president, may his soul rest in peace, Jerry John Rawlings, would not have come back in 82. So it is not easy. So for me, I just feel that the whole system for Guinea is messed up. And when this happened, you hear a lot of young people on social media asking or preaching for coup in Ghana. At least you have the...
no, they've not seen, they've not witnessed 79, 80.
That's what I say, that now you have the opportunity to sit on social media and talk. When there's a coup, social media will be closed. And then if you're a man, talk.
Did anyone call for a coup in Ghana?
Oh, my God, when this thing happened, it was all over the place. Some of us I actually penned it down. Whenever I get the opportunity, I'll tell the young people that by the time the coup happens, social media and everything will be closed. So you not even get the opportunity to talk. So thank God that you have the opportunity to talk. Moving from there, I do not agree with her in the sense that our leaders didn't say anything to Alpha Conde. At least from...
I didn't say that.
From the foreign minister. You know, when she had the meet the press, I think on Wednesday, they were asking her what happened. How come this even happened in the first place? And she said they had engagements with him when he did that. There had been several...
Because it's a diplomatic issue,
you cannot force...
Apart from the political implications and the security and threats it presents.
Guinea is a sovereign nation. And as much as we disagree with Mr. Alpha Conde for what he did, he managed to convince his parliament to do what they did. And so, if you look at it by their laws, he was right, even though we do not agree with him. So it was going to be difficult for anybody, including ECOWAS or the UN, to force him not to do it. So as for him, as I said, I do not have any sympathies for him. He has reaped the benefits of his actions. But moving forward, we have to now, as the communique said, be very stringent on what we want them to do. They cannot live in isolation. I read the communique, and there's a part of which that said that they are going to be enlisting the help of the UN and of other countries, donor countries, that send money and things to Guinea, to also put in sanctions. And what I also liked about it, that the sanctions are targeted at the coup leaders.
Yes.
And their
so
families.
it includes a travel ban imposed on the coup plotters as well as their family members and supporters, with the financial assets of members of the junta frozen.
Yes, and I think they can also move forward, move a bit, what do I say, add on to it, like what is being done to Afghanistan. You know that what is their name, those who give them loans, the international IMF has and the World Bank has actually blocked the accounts of the country. So the Taliban cannot access money from the IMF or the money that they were giving them. Perhaps ECOWAS should also engage France, because in all this, you cannot rule out France. So perhaps, I'm sure they are doing all that to make sure that they force them by hook or crook to return back to democracy. And then, as we've already gotten involved, I mean, I'm talking about ECOWAS, then we should also see it to its fruitful end by making sure that we have the elections in 6 months as we want to do it, and making sure that a democratic government is elected. The coup plotters can also stand for the elections. After all, they are also Guineans, and if they think they are popular with their people, they can stand for the elections as civilians. But definitely we cannot allow a military junta to stay in Guinea. Look at what is happening with Mali. They are also pulling their feet. As I said, power is sweet.
And that's why the communique also said there's not going to be an extension to that deadline in Mali, and they also have to get back on
you see, when we talk about the democracy, I think this communique has moved a step further. Normally we hear threat without timelines, without any bites. But this one, I think, if they're going to stick to this, I think some African leaders will look at it.
Does it help?
That would even extend to AU. Look at what is happening in Cameroon too.
Does it help the security situation that concrete steps, at least from the position of ECOWAS, are being taken to address some of these issues with regards to coup within the sub-region?
I think the communique, the way it is issued, I was listening to one of the radio stations. In fact, I was impressed. Even though I have issues with ECOWAS, AU, because of their members are sort of going contrary to their own protocols and conventions. But I think this particular communique, if the leadership of ECOWAS are really going to stick to that, that will really help.
Okay.
But maybe if the junta decide to give an excuse, thus they should appoint somebody immediately who will be in charge of the transition.
Okay.
And then we'll see where Guinea will be in 6 months' time. The military junta, they should go back to the barracks. As Helen said, if they want to contest, they can pull out their uniform. But I'm not even subscribing to that, because we've seen how people will change from military to civilian, the way they act. At times they forget that they are now civilians. They act like soldiers until some years. So I think coups shouldn't, no matter how, we shouldn't encourage any coup in the sub-region, and for that matter, Africa. If we are saying that, oh, this is happening, we need coup. Some people were not there in 79. They were not there in 81. As for the 60s, this and two were not there. But we've seen the effect. Some of us are victims of those kind of coups. We don't even. The worst democracy is better than military rule. That is my definition.
That's a very profound statement. And what would be your final take on this, so we move on to
in terms of security? I think ECOWAS is or the leaders of ECOWAS is gradually understanding that what happens in another country affects the rest. Because if there's unrest in Guinea, they'll start migrating down, and all of us will have to face the consequences of it, and we do not want that added to our issues. And then on the issue of the leaders, I've seen that there are certain leaders who are here who are also attempting to change their constitutions. I hope they are learning from this.
A good point. Let's move on to our next conversation. Still on the front page of the Daily Graphic, NMC moves to halt impunity against the media, and the National Media Commission leading that call. And we have the picture of the NMC chair, Mr. Yaobwedu Ayeboafo, and he's saying impunity against the media will not be tolerated. And the chairman of the commission, he said the commission will strive to create a safer and more secure environment for journalism in Ghana. And it's an initiative the NMC is spearheading, and they want everyone to come on board to ensure that journalists are safe in the discharge of their duties. It brings the issue this week into sharp focus, where some journalists were attacked at the court when they attempted to cover proceedings around the arrest and trial of the prophet Pastor Isaac Owusu-Bempah. And I'll pick your thoughts on this first, Ellen.
Before I address the journalist issue, I would address the whole Owusu-Bempah issue in just two or three quick sentences. Look, when you're in a certain position in life, it doesn't matter what people think. I mean, Reverend Owusu-Bempah has risen to the fact that when national issues or issues where we have religious leaders, is one of those who is called. So when you've gone through all the things that you've gone through and you've been able to get to a certain point in society, you do not meddle with people who are down there who have nothing to lose. And for me, I see this as a typical example of him not being able to hold his anger, of allowing this former priestess, former froster to annoy him to the extent
now
that
reformed.
To annoy him to the extent that annoy him to the extent that
she has changed.
To annoy him to the extent that he had to practically move his car to her house, and then for all this fracas to happen. It doesn't matter who you are. The law will work. And for him, I believe that the law has worked, and it is working. Now,
the system is working.
Yes, it has to work, because, I mean, I agree with Mr. Ayeboafo that the impunity that certain people in this country think that they can get away with whatever they do, it's high time it is brought to order. And the first one is his church members. I'll plead with them, anyone who is listening to us here, and that they should all cool down. Because the more they misbehave, the more they aggravate the situation for their head pastor. Because any judge will just look at all the facts, and if you do not take care, you give him the maximum sentence. And in this case, and looking at the charges that he's been given, some of the maximum sentence can end up with 10 years imprisonment. So his church members who are on the side, making noise and insulting everybody and assaulting journalists and assaulting police people, because that is one of the charges, that when they went to invite him, his church members came and beat up policemen. You do not beat up policemen. How? And go scot-free. I mean, they had the nerve to actually beat up the policemen. And then, or to add insult to injury, you go to court and you go and beat up journalists too. Church members, you are supposed to be the look-alike of Christ. And the last time I checked, Christ was not violent. When he was even being arrested and his disciple cut off somebody's ear, he replaced the ear. He healed the person. So which Christ are they following? Is it the Christ that we all know, or is it a different Christ? It is disgraceful what they did at the courthouse. And I am happy that Mr. Ayeboafo is talking about it. But then you too, your leadership, I'm talking about the journalists. That is all you do. You talk. Anytime journalists are beaten in this country by whoever, the politicians, the church pastors, you just talk. We don't see anything. So now I hope that the Ghana Journalists Association would actually make a move and send them to court Right. Very different from the state's prosecution. Maybe have a civil whatever against them.
Yes, but once you throw your hand against anybody beyond the civil suit, it's a criminal matter because that's an assault.
Added to the whole assault case that they are all fooling. But I believe that the Ghana Journalists Association should also, do more for me
to protect
the journalists, because it looks like everybody feels that they can take a pick at the journalists because they are easy prey.
I mean, I personally experienced the wrath of an angry mob or an angry group of persons who feel that in the discharge of my duties, I was in some way attacking. I was a threat to them. So I can understand the calls for protecting journalists. But Haja, I wonder if you think this can finally move beyond talk to seeing some kind of action like Ellen.
Yeah, so before I also go there, I want to touch on the Owusu Bempah thing. I was, well, I'm not his fan. It isn't because I'm a Muslim, it's not my fan, no. I admire some certain pastors when they are preaching. I listen to the good ways that they speak, because some of them really inspire you. If you listen to some of them, if you are down, just like some of our imams when they are preaching on this. I'm not his fan, but I thought he was a smart guy.
I agree.
All along, I thought he was a smart guy. I watched him with a lady in his church, describing her as sister or something, when she was even in her old days, let me put it that way. The rousing welcome she had in the church, and I don't know what went wrong, and they started fighting each other. You understand? And she was able to put a trap and for him to come and just land in room. I was shocked when I read it. Tell me, I said, what? Oh, it's a different Owusu Bempah, not the Owusu Bempah that I know, that I've been watching, or at times listening to some commentaries, or maybe looking at social media. And Akrada, somebody who's Akradawa, will set a trap, and then you come and fall. He's not a smart guy at all. He didn't think outside the box. He didn't. So you see, that's shine, not anything that glitters that is gold. You see somebody say this, but small thing, and the person will just fall in. And then you went to attack this woman in her house, and then the police came. They beat up the police, as Helen said. Now the courts, journalists were there to do their job. So Mr. Ayaboafu, not just the talk for people to put it on paper for us to discuss. Actions should be taken against anybody who would attack any journalist. And the journalists too, when they attack you and they come to settle the thing out of court, you should agree. But before you realize, oh, they've brought some pastors, some imams, and then they had to go and see your mother, and your mother said, oh, tell me, don't do that. You see, if you do that, you are... No, don't agree. Look, one pastor also attacked a journal, a studio, went and bought, what's his name?
I forgot. I remember that case.
And then we didn't hear anything about the case again. So by all means, people will say, oh, even if we do it, and then our leadership go to see them with some help, we'll pay your medical bill, we'll pay, I don't know whether we can pay the trauma that you could bill. I don't know how you are going to quantify it in terms of financial gains. So I think the call is in the right direction. And then I think journalists too should be very, very careful when reporting.
I was about to say, the responsibilities that come with
the job that you are doing.
The job and the fact that people trust you to, as much as possible, just be as objective as you can. I don't think absolute objectivity is possible. But to present the facts as provided by two sides and leave the public to make the call for themselves.
At times too, I look at the journalists, they said, oh, we called the person did not respond. So they will run with one side of the story, leaving the other side. If maybe you didn't get the other side story, why do you rush? And then maybe later on you come to hear the other side of the story, maybe yours is not accurate. So it puts some kind of anger in the people concerned too. If you're going to report a case and you see a mob, you should know how to comport yourself.
But is there even any justification to attack a journalist at all?
Not at all.
Not even if the person were not a journalist. we've had conversations about domestic violence and the fact that women increasingly in the past few months have been, you know, violated by persons known to them in domestic situations. And we've said on this panel that you should not attack anybody.
You don't even have the right to touch anybody, even maybe to come close to the person if the person doesn't want you to come close, because there's a limit that when you exceed that limit, it becomes a threat. So why do you go to do that? But you see, or now how do you say? Me, I'm not a speaking person, so maybe I don't put it. But I think we should all, because the journalists, they are the lights of the listen. They will highlight whatever is happening. Without journalists, then they will be doomed. There will be total darkness. Whether we like it or not, politicians can do whatever they want. Lawyers, judges, without the journalists, my people in Kumbungu will not know what is happening. As I'm sitting, by all means, my people are watching. They know maybe I'm on GTV. Without GTV, there's no information. Without other stations that goes maybe different languages, and your studios now different languages come, people will not hear anything. So I think the journalists should be protected, must be protected, and they must act responsibly.
Right.
Somebody is giving me information on it was Hot FM, and it's the same Owusu Bempa in Obinim.
It's Obinim. Yes, Obinim.
Yes. And him too. Yes.
So you see,
they are the ones who attack journalists.
Some of them in this country behave as if they are untouchable.
That is the impunity we are talking about.
You see, they are untouchable. I think the new acting IGP was being confirmed. My own brother Dampare. Yeah. I think his men are at work, but I like the way they comported themselves. Even though they were attacked, they didn't exchange anything with the people. Even some of them were attacked, but they didn't do anything to anybody. That is professionalism. But you see, when it comes to a situation whereby maybe you are even going to use your finger to poke somebody's eye, but because of professionalism, you stand for them to remove your eyes.
And let's not forget that people have the right to
defend themselves.
And then that's where it escalates and it becomes something else.
Exactly.
But let's shift focus slightly to issues of revenue mobilization. And on Monday, the Business and Financial Times carried a story about a strategic mobilization Ghana Limited system that has been implemented to plug leakages in the revenue mobilization system. So they carried a story about how they are using the platform to prevent leakages in sources of government income, and they are using that system to make sure that the monies do not go out. They go exactly where they want. So a quick one, it's saying that so this is a profile of the company, but the core mandate is to ensure that the monies that we want to put into the development activities and the monies that we want to raise to finance our healthcare systems, education and everything, it goes where it should. I wonder if you've seen the story and what your thoughts may be on the attempt to do this, especially through digitization.
Well, I think anything to make sure that our monies, are safe and they do what we want them to do is a step in the right direction. I haven't read the full story yet, but the little I heard about them, I think they are supposed to be following budget allocations to institutions, to projects, to all manner of government expenditure, and they are supposed to make sure that they are actually used for what they are supposed to be used for. Is it on the same Monday that the president also spoke at the Ghana Bar Association's annual meeting, and he was on the case of professionals, especially the lawyers, that they evade taxes. And for me, it was, in fact, the day I heard that thing, I was like, oh, okay.
So if the professionals are evading,
and you know,
why should
one day I'll become a lawyer? I'm in the process, but I'll still not spare my seniors who are evading the tax. We are one of the loudest people in this country. I'm talking about lawyers. Lawyers everywhere are loudmouth. I mean, we'll talk unless we don't see. Even student lawyers like me, look at how loud our mouth is.
By the time you
so with all these things that we do, and they're talking, and we are fixing the country, and somebody has passed it, we are not paying tax. Are we not ashamed of ourselves? I mean, I was so ashamed there. And it's not just the lawyers, so the doctors, the architects, all manner and forms of of professionals who are not paying tax. So we'll go and tax these poor market women. 50 pesos, 1 CD every day. We will tax all the government workers income tax. And you, the loudmouth lawyer, and you, the doctor, who knows everything about everybody, you are not paying tax. And you will still get up and shout, fix the country. Fix the country with what? So I totally agree with all anything that will be done to make sure that, one, those who are supposed to pay their tax pay. Because the people from whom we tax, they are so small. And they are always burdened because the taxes keep going because we are not getting the money. So it's a small bracket that is always paying. So if we are able to get all this, and I think the digitalization agenda is working because we got all this information to the Ghana card. You know, when they started linking the Ghana card to the SNIT, your SNIT numbers and now National Health Insurance. So now it is easy for them to pick up because somebody is paying his SNIT all right, he's preparing for his retirement, but he's not paying tax.
So this project has started with the NPA, and it's the successful implementation of the new digital system for monitoring and auditing of the petroleum liftings end-to-end by SML. So SML is a strategic mobilization Ghana Limited company, and they're saying that they've increased the volume of petroleum products by 752.4 million liters, generating a tax component of more than 1 billion to the Ghana Revenue Authority in a space of just 10 months of implementation.
That is why some people don't like
1 billion.
Before you can, you mean to tell me that if this hadn't been done, we would have lost all this in the last 10 months?
Or we would not have made as much. Because digitization opens up the system to the loopholes, and then the systems can be put in place to make sure that they are plugged and the money flows straight through. So it's like a tube, and the people who make holes in it attempt to get water diverted to other sources. But if the tubes are blocked, the water flows straight, and it goes to the government pocket.
We super glue.
So we are blocking it.
Yes, you see.
So you're on board with this?
You see, yes, Talma. Whether we like it or not, there are loopholes in the system. I think if we're able to mobilize resources within, I'm not sure we'll be going around every day borrowing and maybe increasing our debt profile. I am all for it. Why? Because a market woman who is selling Kobe, tomatoes, and what have you, they are paying every day.
Right, okay.
They are paying every day. And then professionals. And then, in fact, I like the way the president looked at their faces and said, you are not paying tax, try and pay tax. You understand that? You see, it is very good. And then they are charging people huge sums of money. Huge sums of money. So I think we should... No, you wanted to say?
No, I just wanted to read a few of the comments that our people are sending to us. Someone said, I watch GTV BFS every morning. You didn't tell us your name, but thank you for watching. Hi, good morning. Please ask the woman in glasses that if she claims Ghanaian youth are calling for a coup, what's actually making them to call for that? You didn't tell us your name, but you're using the hashtag GTV Breakfast, and we like that. Thank you. The sanction is nothing to Guineans. We were once ruled by a military man before, and who is that ECOWAS we like? Who is that ECOWAS? We like Mamadou Doumbouya to rule Guinea. I presume that this is from a Guinean national. Lansana Conte was a military man, and he was able to rule the nation, and we still love him. So that's your opinion, and I must say that opinions expressed by persons on this program and on any GBC platform represent their own opinions, and not that of GBC. This one says the worst democratical ruling is better than a coup. I really like the woman who made that contribution. From Richard Mensah Bosman Gomoa Otil Jukwao. Thank you for sending that message. The only one who will not break your heart is the one who made it. So always trust and share your problems with Allah. Juma Mubarak. Thank you for sending that to us. Someone is addressing you, Ellen. And before that, she addressed Haja. Haja, you made my day with your views. Also, Bempa felt he had the presidency in his pocket, did he? So he can mess it up. It serves him right. Let the NPP big men back off for the lot work. They should allow the judges to work freely, devoid of political interference.
Big men wanted to be in prison.
And then he an address straight Ellen. you will soon join that trend, and it will be the same with you, since that is the order of the day. That will be the environment you'll find yourself, and you'll be dancing to the tune of the system before you come. I presume he's talking about the lawyers that they are not paying taxes. He's saying that you may soon.
But why must you assume that I will pay my tax? Because by the time I get there, the system will have been in place, so you pay.
So Ellen will not join that fray. Ellen will not join that fray. So another comment says Guineans are happy with the coup. Really? ECOWAS is for president. Daniel Eduji from Media. Well, those are your opinions. And another one saying, Thelma looking superb. Thank you. Thank you. Biggest Scissors is responsible for this look. I'll share her details with you shortly. But ladies, let's quickly look at the issue of the closed borders, because officially Ghana's land borders are closed. So if you're doing any business beyond the border, you know that you're engaging in an illegality, and that's not me saying it. There has been no announcement that the borders are open, and the Ghanaian Times is carrying a story on the front page. It's saying, it's on page 16. The Interior Minister is quoted as saying, "We'll open borders if Ghana achieves 20 million COVID-19 vaccination target." So the Minister for the Interior, Ambrose Derry, says the government will fully open Ghana's borders if the 20 million vaccination against COVID-19 target are achieved. According to him, the decision by the government to shut down the borders was not unilateral, but was consistent with other safety measures and protocols instituted by other countries to fight the spread of the disease. He said recent moves to acquire vaccines and the availability of vaccines donated by development partners indicated that the target would be realized soon. And he was speaking in Accra when he inaugurated the Governing Council of the Ghana Immigration Service. So the Immigration Service, the service that is mandated to protect our borders, and the board has been inaugurated in Accra yesterday. And so the borders remain closed. Haja, I wonder what you think about that. What do you think about our vaccination drive at the moment?
I was expecting some figures to be mentioned, maybe so far. How many Ghanaians have been vaccinated? Have we reached maybe 2 million?
We are within the region of 1 million plus.
1 million plus.
I'm not sure of the specific figure.
So even let's say 2 million. Let's even put it at 2 million. And then we are expecting
20 million.
20 million.
And we're in September. The borders have been closed for a while. And until we hit 20 million, Interior Minister is saying the borders.
You see, because we have a porous border. That is why.
But are the borders closed?
They are not. They are closed, but not closed. To be honest, because people are going in and out every day.
Can we achieve the 20 million target soon?
How soon? I would have asked how soon, because we have to be specific. Maybe by 2022 June, 2022 May, January. You see, we have to set targets that we can be. The Interior Minister, he's in charge of internal. Maybe he has some.
He has information that we don't.
Maybe we don't have.
Okay, let me pick
and I think opening up the borders will help, because we have people crossing the borders illegally, and then people are extorting monies from them into their private pockets. So maybe if we put a system in place whereby maybe they will use the correct channel, and then maybe we screen them, charge them for going in. Or coming into our country, and then when they are going, the other side too will also screen them, just like the airports, because we've closed the borders, but the borders are not closed.
Ellen?
Well,
20 million vaccination target.
I understand the minister for saying that, because we definitely do not want COVID cases overwhelming us. And the past few months, they've been struggling to keep the infections at bay. And then in the past few months too, we've started going back to vaccinations. I was able to take my second dose about a month or so ago. I was one of the first to take it, and it took us almost 3-4 months before we were able to take it. Fortunately, I mean, more of the vaccines are coming in, and as he said, soon. But I agree with her. How soon is soon? Let's not forget that this closure of borders are affecting our border towns. I mean, a few weeks ago there was demonstrations in, I think, Aflawo and Elubo about the reopening of the borders.
They were calling for the borders.
Yes, but then I also did not agree with them, because you also do not know what was happening. So I think it was a call for the government to look at it again. And now the minister is telling us this. I think we cannot help by making sure that those of us who have vaccine hesitancy, as we don't know whether we should take it or not, it is safe to take it. I am not dead yet. I have taken both doses. I'm a living example. I have underlying conditions. I'm asthmatic. And so for me, it was important I took it. There are a lot of us who know that we have underlying conditions. It's important you take it, because if you don't take it and you are attacked, you are the first to go, and you go very quickly. So about the dose, I just checked. So far, we have in country 1.27 million doses. That's what's been given to us, or that's what we have. And fully vaccinated Ghanaians are 406,000.
Wow.
So we have a long way to go to the 20 million.
So then the 20 million, they check.
I don't know the plans that they have. I heard from next week the Moderna vaccines are going to start. So they're also going to put it in the system.
And then, you know, Otufo also pleaded with the Americans.
Yes, and I heard more are coming in. I'm hoping that by the end of the year, we've been able to go quite fast. So that we can open
the key thing is, if we want the borders to be opened as soon as possible, get vaccinated. I was listening to a report on DWTV this morning, and they were talking about a possible fourth wave pandemic, which they are calling the pandemic of the unvaccinated. So more people who have not received a single jab or any vaccination at all may be the one who will be in that fourth wave of persons who fall more seriously sick with COVID-19.
I think a
quick one, so that I want us to end on a report that I have in front of me here.
The minister was saying 20 million because it is our 20 million people that will have the herd immunity. Herd immunity is protection for our children and for those who have not been vaccinated. So, but if we don't go, we will not achieve that herd immunity.
Right. Herd immunity is the point we get to where there are so many people who have been immunized against the disease that a spread or a transmission in the population will not lead to as serious figures or as serious illnesses as we would have witnessed if there was no herd immunity. So 20 million is the target. You can read a bit further about it, and
but
then
I think, Telma,
you can advise yourself.
I think now the myth is
demystified.
Yes, because almost everybody has been affected by it.
When I took my daughter to Achimota for the vaccine.
A quick one, yes.
Yeah, and in fact, you see the young ones, 18 and above, you see them rushing to the clinics.
And we encourage you to also rush to the clinic and get vaccinated.
Yes, like we
say, the numbers are not where they should be. So
those who were discouraging people took it first.
Get vaccinated, and also follow all the preventive etiquettes that have been set, proven by scientists, implemented by governments around the world, proven to work. So wear your mask, maintain the social distancing, wash your hands regularly with soap and running water for at least 20 seconds, and avoid crowds as much as you can. So we are still hammering the fact we want COVID to be a thing that we do not have to worry about anymore. And the Finder newspaper has a very interesting story on page 5 that says an indictment on radio and TV stations for interviewing fewer female experts. And because we are all females at this table, I just wanted to raise that issue. Data gathered by the Ghana Women Experts GWE indicates that more men who are specialists in various fields dominate radio and television programs than their female counterparts, and the expertise of the latter remains unacknowledged. Do you think female expertise is unacknowledged?
No,
I think it's a fact that there's fewer engagement with female experts, but is it unacknowledged?
I think, you know, we are politicians.
And every Friday, we bring this table, we lay this table for women only, and the rest, they are not welcome here.
We are politicians. But you see, maybe when it comes to situations when we're going to discuss about health, about children's, about health. Let me just take health as an example. I think maybe that's where they are looking at, or maybe law.
But who is the Director General of the Ghana Health Service, male or female? Male. Who is the Minister for the Interior? Male. Who is the... So if we are talking about Guinea, we'll go to Madame Shela Ikobotre, because she is a female who has been appointed to head a key sector,
sure.
and they are the people we go to. So can you blame the media for having
but
the
if
men
you have a minister of
the
interior as a male, maybe you have the technocrats. You see, the technocrats shouldn't leave the field for politicians to come and be talking. I think we should have a situation whereby maybe Minister of Foreign Affairs, Minister of Health, Minister of Agric, we have the technocrats who will come and explain agric matters, health matters, and trade matters.
And the report actually sides with you. It says that the survey found that politicians, lawyers, doctors, lecturers, and other men dominated most programs between February and June 2021. Let me pick your thoughts on that.
It's been a struggle for female politicians to even get a seat at this table over the years. It's recently that a lot of the radio and TV stations are even giving us the opportunity. And I don't even see why GBC should give us just one day. I mean, the population is more than 56% female. So why would you give all the other days to... Sometimes when I see your flyers, I go like, oh, I mean, just Friday. Why can't we have a Tuesday and a Friday or a Thursday? I mean, these are all not just.
Why can't you have Monday to Thursday and the men have Fridays?
Whatever. But the point is, of course, we are looking for quality too, so we can't push them out. But then, just as you're giving us the female politicians the opportunity, give the other women, because there are 1,001 women in our society.
Yeah,
sometimes they are better than the men, but instinctively, I think the media just moves to the men and then they call them. Give the women opportunity. If you are some women, you need a certain field, call some of us, we can get them for you. Call the universities, they can get it for you. Call the ministries and say, we want a woman to talk. The women are there. It's just that sometimes you push us out. Even here, some people want to push us out.
Oh, are you sure?
No, I'm not sure.
I'm not talking about GBC. I'm even talking about political party deployments.
Okay.
How many women are even deployed?
But we know that women are qualified.
More than qualified. We are overqualified.
Competent and well.
You know, as for me, I was telling people, please, let's make the best out of the little chance that anyone will get. You understand? If you get the opportunity, encourage more women to also join. Because some of the women too, if you want to put them on television or radio, they say, oh, it's too early, I can't go, and so on and so on. Let me tell you, I'm telling you, I'm being honest with you. So there was a journalist who said, have you called me? And I said, I'm sleeping.
We need to wrap this conversation.
Call me and see whether I will not come.
Thank you so much.
And then we have to do that and encourage more younger ones because we have more young people in the political parties who can really articulate themselves.
And across professions. Now we have younger doctors, younger professors, younger lawyers,
everywhere.
Younger journalists who are
and the women are just glittering everywhere. But the women wants to deem us. It's not going to happen.
Hajia Hamdatu Brahma, former acting chairperson of CPP. Hajia, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
For gracing our table today. And of course, Ellen Amadek, member NPP National Communications team. Thank you also, Ellen, for honoring our invitation as you always do. And we've been looking at the headlines. We've looked at Guinea, we've looked at Mali, we've looked at a system that's in place to plug the leakages in revenue, and definitely issues about impunity against journalists and why it should not be perpetrated. And for now, we'll keep an eye, as we always do, on situations around the city. And this morning, my colleague Jay Gabra is around the Kwame Nkrumah Circle area, specifically around, I think, Vodafone area. And Jay, what's happening there? What can you tell us? What are you keeping an eye on around Vodafone today?
Okay, good morning once again. It's still hashtag GTV Breakfast, and this is Keep an Eye. So this morning we are and we are here to monitor a situation of chaos and some bedlam. So behind me, you can tell our vehicles who are coming from Achimota, Tesano, La Paz, and Sawom, Kumasi, be wherever that may be, heading towards this circle where we are at the moment. You realize there is a bus stop at that area, but what happens is commercial vehicles do not use the bus stop. We don't know the reason for that, whether the bus stop isn't wide enough or not. So what happens is they park on one lane of the road, and if there are a number of them, they even take over the next lane. So what happens is when vehicles get to this point and they have to, for instance, exit the interchange here, it creates a bottleneck for the way and now have to find their way into the outer lane to exit this part, exit towards Awudomen and Kaneshi. So what happens is you realize the same thing happens on the other side of the road. Commercial vehicles do not park at the bus stop, and then they also pick up passengers. And I don't know the reason why they do not use the bus stop. And you realize there's a wire mesh that has been used as a form of barrier, so our pedestrians do not cross the road at this point. What happens is you see the street light right in front of me. You realize that pedestrians use this point, and they've even destroyed the mesh, because for them this side is a shortcut. As to whether it's a shortcut to death, we don't know, but they prefer to use this side instead of using the correct ones which are down the lane. When we asked one person why they prefer to use this side, they said, oh, they are just visiting a shop just across the road. They don't see the use why they should go all that way and use the correct pedestrian crossing, so they prefer to use this one. We've seen a number of situations here right now where drivers trying to exit this point almost hit people who are crossing the road because they can't tell if the drivers are going towards the overhead or they are trying to exit. And then the pedestrians are also blaming the drivers for not showing indications that they are exiting. So it's a chaotic scene happening right. You realize that when you look towards the overpass, that side is very, very free, meaning the hold-up is for those who are coming towards this side. You realize that for vehicles, because of the chokehold at that point, when they get to this part and then they don't need to exit and they are using the overhead, it's quite free for them. So we are praying that this situation is kept as soon as possible. You realize that there are members of the MTTD here helping to control the traffic, and what happens is the pedestrians are not even scared of them. So even though they are here, the police presence is here, they still prefer to use, for instance, this illegal crossing and try to get to their destination. You realize the bottleneck we are talking about right now for those trying to exit towards Circle and going towards Kaneshie as well. So this is what happened. And you can tell there are a number of people, you can see some of them who are even crossing at the moment. Quite dangerous scenes. So if they can come back and fix the mesh, that will help curb the situation. I don't know who destroyed it, but this is not a good situation at all. Here at the Kwame Nkrumah Circle interchange, and this has been keeping an eye where we are monitoring that situation, and we don't know why they prefer not to use the bus stop but to be on the main road itself, causing a lot of traffic for road commuters who use this side of the road. That has been keeping an eye. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you so much for giving us that report from the Vodafone area, Kwame Nkrumah interchange. Remember, we're celebrating Kwame Nkrumah across GBC platforms this month of September. His birthday coming up on the 21st, a public holiday confirmed. So you will be home and we will be here to serve you a different kind of breakfast on that holiday. So take note, Tuesday is a holiday. And just before we took that report from Jay, we were having the conversation with the female panel, and we talked about the fact that more female experts are invited to programs and they are invited to share their expertise. So more males than females are invited to share. And some of you are telling us why you think that is. So here's a comment. Good morning, I'm Nilate Lakai. The women don't give huge soli from Amania. So huge soli is the reason why you do not invite women to contribute to your programs and add their voice to your topics. I find that very unprofessional, but anyways, that's your opinion. There's one I saw on our Facebook stream, and I'm going to see if I can find it again, and it also talks about the issue of persons invited to share their opinions and impressions on programs. And this one is from a doctor, I believe. Her name is Princess Irajua. It says, I'm a medical doctor who regularly goes on television and radio to discuss health-related issues. I don't think being female has stopped journalists from inviting me on their shows. I think it depends on how good you are and how effectively you communicate. If you do a good job, you will be invited to shows. Angelina Kuntu says, I'm watching you live and you women are looking very beautiful. Thank you very much for the program. Thank you too. Kojo Asempa Furniture Works, our #1 fan every day, every week. Powerful morning show indeed from Kojo Asempa Furniture Works in Kumasi. We'll be inviting you one of these days very soon to come to the studio, Kojo, because every single day, like clockwork, you join us. Domaka Imano, I'm watching from Kintampo North. Good work done. Thank you. Ghana Togbe, you're saying we need to unite and develop together. Nice show. Love it. We love it that you love it. Thank you for sharing your thoughts with us. We are streaming live across our social media platforms. We're on Facebook. We are on Instagram, Twitter, and on YouTube. So share our content. Tell us what you think and share your impressions with us on our WhatsApp line 055556134. Let me quickly acknowledge this interesting opportunity here. Do you know you can play games and jerk out of boredom? Join mybet.africa now and enter the bonus code GTV for a bonus to play more games. So that's virtual soccer, my bet league, spin to win, drops and wins, and other exciting games. Grab a 100% money back on the first lost bet placed after making a deposit. Join the truly Ghanaian home of betting now. My Bet Africa, home of betting. So many more messages coming in. We'll be keeping an eye on another location very shortly. Here is another one that says the NPP woman said females are denied in politics, and what did they say about Professor Jane Nana? Well, your impressions, and those are your opinions there. And so we've looked at that topic about females being underrepresented, maybe in terms of numbers when it comes to talking or appearing on radio and television shows. So let's make a solid commitment to invite more women to share their expertise on our programs on radio and television. You're watching GTV Breakfast, and there is a sit down that CAF is going to have with a woman, and we are celebrating the work that she's doing. CAF will tell you all about it after this break.
Tell me where you gonna run, go here. This is Studio One. This is the Breakfast Show.
Everybody calls on the
We've asked a few questions about how soon and how early the police leave when they come on such duties. They've not been able to say specifically how long they stay or how long they have to stay. But the fact of the matter remains that on the ground, a policeman turns up in the morning, but you don't have them for the evening rush. And this sometimes does lead to some problems. There's been a few times, I'm told, when there's been a clash between, especially our brothers on the two legs, motorbikes. They will jump even when it is red, and that is where the problems come from. And so they seek that the police will be here at least for a much longer time in order to ensure that at least the traffic situation here gets somehow better for both commuters and pedestrians who also cross at some point during the rush, morning and the evening rush. This is Keep an Eye, coming to you directly from Mataheko Zongo Junction. And as you can see from behind me, once again, the traffic lights have not worked for 4 months.
Well, thank you very much, Daryl, for keeping an eye on that situation at Mataheko Zongo Junction. Just before I go into my conversation, message here from a brother in Burkina Faso watching the headlines, and he said, best regards from Burkina Faso. What a brilliant debate. In my opinion, ECOWAS should be firm to oppose any president who wishes to modify the constitution of his country after a second mandate. This will avoid coup d'etats. For the closure of the borders linked to COVID-19, it's pure violence against the lower classes. It was justifiable if the airports were also closed. It's deplorable. Ras Simposh, Burkina Faso artist, is a musician. Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup, mon frère. And I was born in Burkina many years ago, so I need to go and find out where my umbilical cord has been buried, because I've been told that my umbilical cord lies under a tree in the Gongé district. So when I come there, I'll go and find that place. Okay, enough of umbilical cords. Let's talk about this Bible verse. Okay, give and it shall be given unto you, good measure, pressed down and shaken together and running over. This is from Luke chapter 6 verse 38, and we're talking about giving, and with respect especially to very vulnerable children and orphans. So you know how it is, mom, dad not around, and sometimes you even have orphans who have parents around, but because of care it's almost as if they don't have any parents. And they are good souls in the system, in spite of all the hopelessness and the sadness. They are good people who are doing great things to alleviate the condition of such people, such orphans. And one of such good souls doing great stuff is my guest, who is Celestina Yurichi, based in the States, but with her eye firmly on her homeland of Ghana. Celestina, good morning.
Good morning.
It's good to have you here.
I'm glad to be here.
How are the young people?
Everybody's doing well.
Everybody's doing well.
Yes.
Awesome. We're talking about some work you're doing with an orphanage in Bojasi. What's the name of this orphanage, and how did you get to know about the situation that they are in?
First of all, thank you for having me.
All right.
And I'm so glad to be here.
Thank you.
And also happy that the organization and everybody were so pleased to recognize and notice what I'm doing to have me here. Well, I got to know about this orphanage about 8 months ago, around early this year. I was on my prayer line. I have a group that I pray with, Women Eagle Prayer Group. And somebody sent me, because this is something I do, so somebody sent me videos of this orphanage in Bojasi.
That's what we are seeing right now, yeah?
Yeah, which touches my heart. And in fact, I sent my son right away to go and have a look. And it wasn't easy.
I can see from the pictures that this is just heartbreaking. And so how many children are in this structure? What's it called? How long has it been around?
In fact, according to the owner of the place, the orphanage have been there for like getting to 3 years. And she's running it with the husband. The husband is a pastor, Mr. Ofori, and the woman is Grace. And the children is about 80 people.
80 children?
That's right.
Wow. And what's the age range?
From ages from 1 to about 15 years old. And mostly the children are very, very malnutrition. And in fact, you have to see some pictures for yourself and you know what I'm talking about. But as we are saying, most of them are very little, very tender age.
Yeah, 1 to 15, and orphans.
Orphans.
Yes.
No, some of them are not orphans. In fact, we were there just about 3 days ago, and I witnessed a woman that is a widower, walking there with 3 kids that she can't take care of. She can't
take care of her children
again.
That's right. And so the orphanage took them.
The woman took them.
Okay.
And they came with empty-handed. And lucky we were there serving food, and you should see how these 3 kids were eating. It looks like they haven't eaten for like months, I should say.
They were just aggressive on the food.
That's right.
Yeah.
And even putting some to take home.
Yeah, because you don't know whether the next one will come. I mean, that makes sense for a child.
This is what I'm talking about. And some of them too are really orphans that they were left there without any parent. Some of them came through grandmothers that can't take care of them. They just dump their kids. And there are some of them too that, according to the woman, came from teenagers that have been raped and they can't take care of the kids, so they brought them there and they left. And some were brought by people that saw them robbing places like armed robbers, little kids that they used through windows. And I interviewed a couple of them, and the story they are telling me is so heartbreaking.
Which of the stories really touched your heart?
The one that touched my heart most was a boy about 6 years old that both parents are dead and working in the home, and a brother or a cousin, somebody took him, like wanted to take care of him, and instead started molesting that child. So a member of the family saw it and brought the child there, like took the child away to the home that Mama Grace, this is what is happening if you can help. And the home is called Graceland Orphanage, yes, and it's in Bourgeoisie.
There's a lot going on there. I mean, the stories you painted of the children and how they got there, even the ages and the things they were involved in, it's really,
Some are even babies. Like, I saw one that was about 9 months old, and it's sad.
How do they care for them? How does Mama Grace and her husband, how do they take care of them? What kind of resources do they have?
They don't. This is where, that's what broke my heart a lot. It breaks my heart because when you go there, or even when I talk to her on the phone, the story she tells me is like they don't have money, and once a while somebody will visit with water and also with juices and cook crackers or a little food for them, and they don't have good drinking water, they don't have good shelters. So I asked her, how did you come by this?
Exactly, because if you can't look after them, why are you looking after them?
Is it registered? I even told her while I was in US that should I call somebody to pick these kids and keep them somewhere so that when we renovate the place, they can come back. And she said, oh, I've wrote a letter to social welfare and all that, but I don't know the management in Ghana, so I couldn't say more. But all I did is started helping them to make sure they have shelter, they have clothes to wear, they have things that they, like basic things that will help them to survive.
And the building, I mean, I saw a picture of the building. It doesn't even look safe. I mean, if it rains, what happens?
Oh, it's sad. According to Mama Grace, she said somebody built that building for them, and they also gathered a little resources that they get to try to complete it, but unfortunately they couldn't do nothing. I sent money and they roofed the building. You can see the new sheets on it, but unfortunately they didn't buy good ones. So when it rained, they actually have to stand with the kids somewhere. While we were there, it rained and we saw the situation, that this is really bad, because the way the roofing is, it's not properly been roofed, and they need proper shelter. They need bunk beds. So I was really touched.
How are the children sleeping now?
They sleep on the floor, on the ground. No mattresses, no bed sheets, no, I mean, no even, how do you call it, mats, no pillows. Mats, no pillows. And we have pictures, we have proof of it, because when we were there, some of the kids were sleeping. So according to her, she gathered a little money and tried to put some towels on the floor. And I said, even the towels, is sickening because these children can get pneumonia.
Exactly, it's going to get cold.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you see the things we send, the clothes that we send to them, all is being ruined because of rain. When it rains, everything gets messed, and they put it on the ground. We bought gravels to fill the ground. We tried to cement the floor for them, but all is not working. So I really want the public and the community as well to help these kids, because it's really sad.
So this is in Bojuasi.
It's in Bojuasi.
And in this central region. And have you been in touch, or have they been in touch with the authorities, maybe the traditional authorities, the local authorities? What's the situation?
According to them, they have wrote several letters to the mayor in the town, but it's not working.
Like
no
DCE
reply. Yes, whoever is in charge.
Okay.
But it's no reply. Nobody look at them. Nobody care for them. They don't pay attention to them. So I'm so glad I'm here today that this will help somebody to move there. People to see that we have to give back to the community, because these are children that they don't have anybody. And
so why are you so interested in this? You don't have any relatives there. You live far away, Rhode Island, the States. What's your concern? Why are you motivated?
Why
to do
I was in Ghana, I started doing this. I started giving back to the community because of my background. I'm not an orphan. I have both parents, but I lost my dad. But my mom is in UK. But I have siblings. I have nieces and nephews. We are all doing well. But I like giving back because I look at the community that I grow in and the situation that some kids go through, and that is how I started giving back to my community.
Where did you grow up?
In fact, from Kaneshi to Latebia Okoshi. That's where I grew up, and we are close to Zongo. So if you look at Zongo, the kids, some of them work and begging for food. And I am a beautician as a profession. And while I'll be in my salon, some kids will come by begging that, do you have any food? So that's how I started giving back to the community, that at least if I can help even one child. And I've done a couple. I've put children in school, and some of them are teachers. I have 2, 3 kids that I really took them as my own and pay their fees and everything, and now they are somebody good. When I come down like this, they always will call, Mommy, what do you want? It's really exciting to see that what you are doing, it paid off.
Indeed, and God bless you. You're doing a great job. I can see your face is lighting up with happiness, thinking about it, and remembering what it was like growing up, and also trying to help the next generation.
Thank you.
Graceland needs a lot of help.
A lot, because I'm not cutting you short, but I started when I went to Pram Pram. I moved to Pram Pram from Adenta to Pram Pram. And I look at the community there. We started one at Ningo Pram Pram. And that one too was another sad story. So that is where I started, and even I help widowers and widows, that I give them clothes, I bring a lot of things down. And all this is on my own without anybody's support until I formed Eagle Prayer Group. That's right.
All right. Okay.
So I started getting support from the group as whole. They all came in agreement with me. These are powerful women of God in the U.S. In fact, it's all over the world.
Okay.
I have people in Australia, I have people in Germany, Holland, and in the Arab countries that help so that we can help them. I always tell them, I said, don't sit in Abuja and don't look back. You have to look back to your community. You have to look back to the people that you left at home. Try to send them things. Try to help them. And I encourage not only food or clothing, but look at where they live. Look at their shelters. Look at the kids' education, because without education for these kids, how are they coming out to be leaders?
And I'm sure now they're not even going to school.
In fact, the women have created school there. And could you believe that people come from the town to join them because they will have food, because they will have clothes.
You're not thinking about the education, they're thinking about the food and the
That's
clothing.
right. So they come to school there.
What's the biggest need of this orphanage, Graceland, and how can somebody help?
In fact, they need shelter. They need roof on their head. They need bunk beds. They need mattresses. They need blankets. I always say that it's not about the juice and everything that we bring. They need borehole, because the borehole they have there now, the man and the kids dig the borehole and they really don't have water. You won't believe it. They have to go and stand and wait, especially in the dry weather when there is no rain or anything. That means the borehole is dry. So they don't have any water to drink. So they have to wait and wait until somebody remember them to give them some sachets of water for them to drink.
How can somebody who is interested contact your organization so that they can get some help for Graceland Orphanage?
Well, I have my son's number and I have Graceland's number too, that I can give out.
Please share it.
For them. Okay, the number that you can contact is 0543 570 774.
Okay.
0543 570 774.
There's another number?
Yes, please. That one, I don't know it by heart.
Okay, so I'll read a message. Wesley says, I'm watching live from Accra. While you're getting the number for me, there is this organization that can assist these kids. Share details with me and I'll push this. Thank you so much, Wesley. And the numbers, I've just WhatsApped the number back to you. It's 0543 570 774. For those of you who want to help Celestina, help Graceland Orphanage, help these kids to become great in the future.
Yeah.
You got another number for me?
Yes, I have another number that you can contact. It's Mama Grace's, cause is 0244 716072.
716072.
Yeah, 0244 716072.
Okay, so that's Mama Grace's number. 0244 716072.
Where they are,
yes.
If you contact the first number, the 0543 570 774, he can give you the actual direction and where you should go, and whatever help you want to help, it will be accomplished, because we really don't want to just go and dump the things there without work done. Actually, could you believe I even while I was in UK, I asked my son, we went with carpenters to measure the doors. The sad news is bike riders go there. The woman said while they are sleeping, she will hear bike riders. And either they pick some of the kids. So I asked her, how do you account for if somebody picked these kids away? How do you know that somebody is gone? She said sometimes she can't, because some of them will leave early to school and all that until they come back and realize that maybe one is missing.
So there's a lot to be done.
A lot to be done.
Securing the perimeter.
So I went with carpenters. We started doing the frame, because we have put all the building for them.
Indeed.
Now they need frames at the door. They need doors.
We
did all the doors for them.
All right.
But it is not yet done.
There's a lot more work to be done. Celestina Yirenchi, I want to say, first of all, thank you for what you've done. And the messages are coming in. You will get help, and Graceland will be helped, and all those kids, God willing, will be assisted with your beautiful help. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
I wish you a beautiful day.
And I'm so grateful. Shout out to the producer. I am Mama Cynthia.
Alrighty.
I am so grateful. I'm so grateful, and also to you as well.
Thank you.
And all the crew members that are working here.
Thank you so much.
I love your studio, and
we love you too.
Thank
Shout
you
out
so
to you
much.
as well. All right, and so that's we like news like this. This is great stuff. So thank you so much for all the messages that are coming in, and we will route you to the right people so that we can help Graceland Orphanage. You're watching GTV Breakfast. Our WhatsApp number is 055-556-1034. If you want more information about how we can help the kids at Graceland Orphanage, 80 of them, they need your help. We can do it together. Still to come, a conversation with Rocky Dawuni, but today happens to be a Freedom Day, and it's not a country, it's for software. Stay tuned. Thelma has all the information. She has a 411. Stay with us.
Live from GBC Studio 1, this is the Breakfast Show. 1. This is the Breakfast Show.